Today is a day of sharing memories of the past to draw lessons for the future. I'd like to begin by sharing a piece of my past, a memory that remains as sharp as yesterday. I was just 11 when my family was forcibly evicted from our home in Alexandria. I can still see it. My mother, two younger sisters, my 4 brothers, and all our furniture piled into the back of an open truck. We drove through Louis Avenue, past the mining dumps, only to be suddenly dumped in Deep Blue, Johannesburg. A 4-bedroom house, yes, but with nothing more than an outside pit toilet. In those years, the apartheid regime was deeply engaged in what we call social engineering. We were tearing apart established communities in Alexandria, removing permanent residents to build single male hostels. These hostels were meant to house cheap migrant laborers for Johannesburg's and industries. Even at 11, I asked myself, why us? Why only black South Africans? What about our human rights? Why were we evicted without a say, separated from everything we knew? When we were dumped in Deep Blue, we were deliberately ethnically separated from other Nguni and Sotho groups. This was no accident. It was a classic divide and rule strategy of the apartheid regime, designed to keep us fractured and powerless. The apartheid government, plain and simple, disregarded the human rights of the black majority in our own country. A few years later, around 14, my brothers and I, along with other young people, would stand in the intersection of Jasmas Avenue and the Empire Roads. We sold lollipops to white families taking their children to the Johannesburg Zoo. Those children were happy, and we had to smile, compete with other vendors for every sale. But inside, I was seething, I was angry that we as black people had no rights in our own country. It was only white people who had rights and privileges in our own country, South Africa. I remember seeing Wits University buildings. Only white students were allowed to study at that prestigious institution. I couldn't hold back. I turned to another vendor and said, it's unfair that only white students have the rights and privileges to study in such prestigious institutes. I was agitated, telling him that we should demand and be allowed to study at Wits after matriculating. His response was sobering. I quote, that's what landed Mandela and others on Robben Island. The apartheid government made sure that doors of learning and culture were slammed shut from most of us, ensuring that we are not open to all racial groups in South Africa.